This is going to be one of those ones that's more about how to and why. And I give you Peter Dubois.
Okay, thank you everybody. This will be the short version of a presentation I did about 3 weeks ago for a jobs group that lasted an hour and 15 minutes, where I actually demonstrated about a tenth of how I actually did it. So this is more about the story of me getting there with a little bit of the technique thrown in, and I hope it started the slide. So it started off with me going to, of course it started off with me losing my job and starting to go out and network. I went to a meetup event. I started going to Facebook garages. I heard about a weekend apps event held at Google. So I went to that. I did more networking, created a blog, lots of different things. So networking led to events, led to results. So at the Google Apps event, the weekend apps event, our team created an application called Playlist Power, and we created it in the weekend. Since I do mostly marketing and I didn't really do coding, my job was to actually create a blog to promote it. So I created a blog. We got lots of downloads of apps. Then I went to the social data revolution presentation at Facebook Garage. I heard this guy speak. He said he was giving a class at Stanford starting in 2 weeks. So I went to his class at Stanford for 9 weeks without ever registering. I joined the Facebook team. We created, my first YouTube was to help create the Facebook page. So it was more of an instructional video of how to add your images to this places to see before you die Facebook page. So didn't really get a lot of views, but it got me started. So that led to, this summer I did I saw a job offered by Cisco, and it was a product manager job. And I thought, okay, I've learned how to blog. Maybe I could do a cover letter and do a video embed. So I created 7 video clips, put it in a WordPress format, and created my first resume. The thing I like about WordPress is it gives you stats. So I actually was watching as people at Cisco were looking at my resume. Now, unfortunately, I never got invited in to do an actual interview, so maybe I wasn't quite the right fit for the job. I had no consumer marketing background. So if you're ever doing video, there's lots of problems to solve, but the 3 ones that I found were the most challenging were dealing with lighting, dealing with sound. I ended up going out and buying a lapel mic, and I really found that a teleprompter helped a lot. Now, you have to picture me. I've got the teleprompter set up, and well, I have to move on, of course. I went to a Google booth, and I actually got to talk to a YouTube expert, and I was asking him, well, why can't you link from a YouTube video to an actual web page? And he said, well, you can't do that, but you can do something really cool. You really have to check this site out. And I don't know how many of you seen the Boone Oakley site. It's just really entertaining. And I thought, well, maybe I could do a resume, something like that, but I didn't really want to quite do it that way. I wanted more of a linear playback thing than having to click a mouse a lot. So when the next slide comes up, you show that to create a site map, that's how Boone Oakley did it. It's sort of like creating a web page, except you're doing individual videos that link to the next video. And what I wanted to do was have my video play more in a serial fashion. So if somebody wanted to play it like a regular video, they could. But I started doing experiments with linking to different sections of the video, and it led me, a long story, it took me about a week to figure out, but if you create 2 separate videos, each linking to each other, that kind of works okay. So the advantage, again, is that you can play it like a normal YouTube video and people can just watch the whole thing through, or they can click and navigate around. So this is actually more challenging than it seems. So actually, here's sort of a cheat sheet that I had about all the annotation lists to actually create the video. This is the part that took about 45 minutes in the last presentation to explain. It's not that easy, but once I finished it, it's like if you post it, will people come? Not really, not unless you have a marketing plan. So I created a 5-step marketing plan, and I actually got like 200 hits in the first day, which I thought that was pretty good. But it was a 5-step plan. The first thing I had to do was create a landing page, because remember, you can't link from the YouTube video. If somebody wanted to see my resume, how are they going to find it? So what I did is I created a landing page using a WordPress blog. If you click on the picture, it launches the video. I had to do it that way rather than embed the video, because if you actually clicked on the video with one of my buttons, it would launch 2 videos. So the first thing I did was, and my plan was I put it out on Facebook, and I actually got feedback from a couple friends who found a link that didn't work, so that was a good idea. Then I used LinkedIn, ask a question. Now this was a rhetorical question because I pretty much knew the answer, but it was sort of like, okay, how am I going to get my video spread to at least 160 of my friends? But the real key to getting a lot of hits was to get an influential blogger to tweet about it. And since I only had about 100 people following me, Jason had several thousand people, I had contacted him directly and he agreed to retweet it. So I had actually pretty good success. One of the tweets I got back was from an HR director who had 15 reasons why video resumes don't work, and I actually agree with a lot of what he says. For one thing, you can't do a 30-second skim of a video. And an HR director, that's what they want to do. They want to look at a text resume and see in 30 seconds whether it's going to work or not. So what were the results? I had over 1,000 hits in a month, 600 landing page views, 1 speaker request. I had 1 headhunter call me. But last week, I had a VP of product call me up, wanted to do a phone interview, and said he liked my YouTube resume. So since I couldn't actually play the resume, if you want to check it out, you can either do a search on YouTube resume navigation, or you can find my LinkedIn page and find a link from there. Thank you very much.